From Inwood, New York City, welcome to Inwood Art Works On Air. It's where you meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home what we affectionately call Upstate Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and today we welcome filmmakers Carlitos Jatubey and Christoper Amarante. They are part of the driving forces behind Mangu Aqui, the franchise, I'll say, because there's one and two, folks. It's a Dominican romantic comedy set in New York City. Mangu Aqui, which just premiered last night, yes, follows the path of young Robert and expounds on his struggles and the resilience of a Dominican family living in the United States. Carlitos is the writer, and Christoper plays the role of young Roberto, and they're both here, and we're thrilled to have them here on the heels of the premiere. So we're going to talk to them about their work on front and behind the camera, and so much more. But first, let me welcome you both to Inwood Art Works On Air. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
You bet.
Yep, thank you so much for having me.
All right, so I have to lead with the first question. Congratulations. It exists now. It's out there in the real world. So how was last night? Was the premiere of Mangu Aqui? How'd it go? What was the reaction?
It was good. I got there. Everyone was in line. I was like, hold on, I'm the actor. Let me just get out of here.
They thought you were like, excuse me, sir, where's your ticket?
Oh, yeah. So I was just
no line jumping. It's at the MTA here.
So yeah, I skipped the line and I was like, hey, Carlito, how you doing? Second floor? And then he told me, no, third floor. I was like, all right, see you there. So I went to the third floor. I went to the red carpet. I started networking with everybody. Following up, catching up with everybody I haven't seen in a long time since set. So yeah.
That's the great thing about premieres, right? You miss that family you haven't been around for that, short time. How long was the shoot for? How many days was the shoot?
We shot it in 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a half-hour film, folks, right?
Yeah, it's 35 minutes long.
Yeah,
Yep.
35, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot for a little amount of time.
It's so much. I mean, we were doing 12-hour days, just like on set. But then, after set, the director and I, we were like, and the other producer, we would just be on communication. It's so much to do. Yeah. But yeah, the premiere yesterday, it was fine. It was a big one for us. It was at the Regal Theater in Times Square. So that was a big step up from part one. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do, to grow. Yeah. So, and we were well received. I think the audience, I think I'm jumping ahead.
Well, you can, like I say, I guess it's a good question, kind of like the audience. Let's talk about it, because I don't think people talk about it enough. And what makes a good first screening? You've had a few, so you can say what you like and what you would like to see. Yeah,
thanks. Well, one thing that I noticed, at least in part one, Mangu Aqui, when I was writing it and I was laughing out loud at the jokes, I was like, this is so funny. The audience at the premiere also laughed. So I was like, yeah. So, I'm not alone, because, when you're writing it, you're alone. Yeah. But then when you share that with the audience, then here, you're in a community.
It's a validation.
Yeah, right. And the parts that I was like, well, how do I make this funny? That I struggle with, the audience also didn't find it as funny. It was kind of quiet. They were listening. But we kind of needed those key moments for me to be able to, get to that punchline.
And you got to set up the next work.
Yeah.
You can go through that valley to get to that high.
Exactly. So that's the beauty, I think, of, having it in front of an audience. Yeah. And in part two, I think it goes more into, I don't know if I should say this, but it's not as funny as part one, but it wasn't meant to be. But yet it's heavier. And and I think the audience was also when I was sad, I feel like the audience was sad last night when we did it. Great. So it's interesting.
It's nice having that breath of the, it's like there's, you don't get that experience on your laptop or iPad, right?
Right.
It's like that communal, you feel the breath in the room. Did you feel the vibe last night in the room too?
Yes,
Well,
it was
you feel
very
the-
nice,
you
very
felt-
opening. I had to interact with a lot of famous, nice people that they were there. So yeah, it was a very nice first experience.
Great, very good. Well, for those who are unfamiliar with either film, Carlitos, can you share the overall storyline and also where did the inspiration for the films come from?
Well, thank you. A little bit about Mangu Aqui. So Mangu Aqui is a story, yes, about a Dominican family living in New York City. It's about a young man who's 30, and he's like pretty shy and doesn't kind of awkward when it comes to dating. He doesn't know how to like flirt really well, and but yet he wants to find somebody. He's ready to settle down. So like he goes out on this date and like it's always a disaster. And he gets a second chance. And finally things are going well between him and this new person he's dating. He introduces her to the mother. The mother just wants to know if she cooks and she doesn't. So she's like, okay, forget it. Like that's what is the deal breaker for the mother. Like you don't even bother me with that. But then that's like their everyday life. He's also working hard and he has his 9 to 5, but they don't. He's not aware that he has a problem that is coming at him from a different angle.
Yeah.
That is just like, whoa, where did this come from? But what it is, and we go into the past. That's where he comes in, and we show what he did in the past, and it catches up to him in the present.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit of, and the inspiration comes from. I think I've been a writer. I think I've known I was a writer for a long time.
Yeah.
And I studied writing in my undergraduate. But I think that I always kind of like postponed my writing, like procrastinate a lot. And now the pandemic came, and I was like, okay, this is the time to write. Yeah.
Sure.
What else am I gonna do?
Right.
And I wrote, and I developed back pain, but then it went away. I exercised, so keep writing.
Keep writing.
Yeah.
Keep the muscles moving.
Yeah.
Keep the creative process flowing.
Right. So what I do also is you're gonna see me. I move a lot, sit straight, sit straight, and whatnot.
Good.
It's fine.
Well, going back, you said just back a hair. That's all great, and bringing in the young lead, Robert here. What is unique about his journey, the journey of Robert, that called to you in this screenplay? Like, what really spoke to you about this character?
What really spoke to me about him was how he's very young, and at the time where I was playing him, he's a very young person, He's always trying to do the right thing, but he falls into the wrong steps,
So you saw that very unique in that journey. It's like you see, were you saying, okay, these pitfalls are easy to fall into, and how do I avoid them in my own life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. What not to do in life, maybe.
Right.
And especially the pressure that a young kid could experience from somebody who's older, who they see, oh, this person is doing really well. Look at what they have, and yet well, I could have it too. I got to go down this path, and so like I think we see that it's a bit sad, but.
Yeah. But it's also eye-opening for the first film as you go back to the first film, if people like to, and see, kind of like it's great how with the wheels turning and how the person got that way.
Right.
It's very, very telling. And speaking of the first film, I know you brought back a lot of the same team from the first film. Shout out to Kevin, who couldn't be here. He's on a film shoot somewhere else, but wanted to make sure we know we love him still. But I think interesting too is like, I think this podcast has been educational in some respects. So what did you learn on the first film that you applied towards the second film? Is there anything that, through that process with this team that you were able to apply to the sequel?
You ask good questions. No, that is a good
You must
question.
have good answers then.
Well, let's see. Well, I think what I learned from the first one is really that, we are very fortunate. We live in a society where what we want to do, we can do. And I think the first film proved that for me, because even though I am a writer, I did not know one other person in my circle or outside of my circle who was involved at all in filmmaking. So I started without a connection. I was like in a dark room.
You were just a creative looking for an outlet,
Right?
Because you didn't know. Yeah.
So I'm doing this, and I'm like, okay, but who am I gonna get? How am I gonna get the actors?
Yeah.
I'm not an actor. How am I gonna get the director? How am I like? What is the production gonna look like? Where is it gonna take place? All these questions, and yet in the second part, well, I already have that. You know, I learned that from part one. So I think the biggest, like, what I have learned so far, and I have a lot more to learn, is that, yeah, if you put your mind into it, you know, you can do it. Yeah. It's doable.
Christoper, seen this guy work and the other guys in the set. Do you have any aspirations, anything you've learned about the filmmaking process?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kevin. You know, he's a very hard worker. You know, he doesn't just focus on not just one aspect. He's planning for the future. He's planning for a lot of things in his life. So he's really, you know, taught me a couple of stuff that I need to prepare to myself as a young actor that I can develop in the future.
Gotcha. Well, we see you possibly in another project with these guys.
I think so.
Kevin? Yeah, definitely. I would
Just
love
say
to.
yes, and they'll hire you. Okay.
I would love to act again with Kevin.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear. Do you have a favorite scene from the film?
Favorite scene? I think it was when we were in the school. And we were, or the 2-for-1 strawberries. Those
What
were the good
happened?
ones.
Tell me about 2-for-1
Yeah.
strawberries. That sounds fun.
Oh, so it was just this, you know, the strawberries were 2-for-1 when I was working in the, and how do I say it? In a colmado.
Yeah, at the store.
At the store,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right, so he's just selling, and you know, there's this person that he likes, he's attracted to, and he's like over there, but he's like just dropping things because he just gets nervous.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one of my favorite scenes right
Okay.
So the strawberries didn't make you nervous. Something else made you nervous.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Nice little physical comedy there, huh?
there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we need more of that for sure. How about you, Carlitos? Any particular moments you're proud of in this film?
In part two,
Yeah.
I think, let me see, my favorite scene, maybe the ending, and yes, shout out to Kevin. Kevin gave me an idea, like, you know, the way I had the writing, I showed it to him, I shared the script with him, so he gave me an idea to add another scene, like where it involved him, and the way he delivered the line, because it was an emotional scene, like, I think it worked well. I think it worked even better the way he suggested. And then when he performed, it's like, yeah, this is great. So that was like a good
Collaboration is for real, and it's nice. I hope you guys keep the unit together and keep making films. So the film is out. That was the first hard part. Now the second hard part is getting it out there, right?
Yeah.
And so can you share? This is more of a question for you and the team, like your strategy in the distribution process. So where can people catch it?
So right now, we just had the premiere last night at the Regal Theater. But and part one is out on Amazon Prime. Mangu Aqui, you can find it on Amazon Prime.
Great.
But part two is not out there yet. So at the moment, we're not sure as to when it's coming out on Amazon. We do have the spot because it's a series.
Yeah.
But we are thinking of submitting we applied to some film festivals.
Yes.
So we kind of have to wait a little longer to have part two out on Amazon.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to see it before it hits Amazon, you know they can come see it at the Inwood Film Festival.
That's right.
How about that?
Yeah. Yes.
So coming up in May. So mark your calendars for that, and then also bookmark the Amazon.
Yes.
So you can see it at home, but like you said, nothing like seeing it in a theater with live people, right?
Oh no! Oh, that's the
a great
best. So there's
experience.
This could be good here. Yes.
Okay. Well, aside from this project, do you each have what do we have going on in the mix here for coming up? What's next? A Mangu 3, or is there anything else happening in a prequel or anything totally different? What's going on with your careers right now? Now the film's open.
Well, yeah. Well, so this is a series. So what I have is because of budget and all that, because we can do what we want, but we have to do it when we can.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So far we've been able to. We shot the first film last year. We recovered a little, and now we shot the second one. So I have 5 of the chapters.
Okay, there's 5 total.
Yeah, no, 7 total. So 5
total.
more.
Okay.
So hopefully it's gonna speed up, not just 1 a year, But right now I'm in a budget.
I know this guy is going to be, going to college soon or something if you go by the first.
Yeah, right. So I gotta catch him when I can. But and big shout out to L.A. Benavides, who's the other producer. He's helped us fundraise, and that was a lot of just his idea, because the first one, it was just like me sponsoring this whole thing, and
Right.
it's
Well,
tough.
listen, fundraising is really difficult, and being a self-promoter, it's always hard. So I totally understand, and I wish you guys all the luck in the world, and I hope you guys can do 2 or 3 a year and get the series finished.
Thank you.
Betcha. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, I just want to say, you said that, you wish us the best of luck, but you're already helping just by having us on your platform.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Like I said, we're all about the uptown and local artists. And so what we can do to heighten that and help pushing you up, happy to do that.
Thanks. Well, part 1, we shot like a couple of blocks away from here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. It's Inwood shot. Anything in part 2 shot in Inwood?
Not in Inwood.
Washington Heights?
Well, I was looking for the grocery store here, so the closest one we found was in the Bronx.
Gotcha.
Getting
priced out, man. I tell you.
Yeah,
rough.
it was tough,
No, it's for real. I get it. I totally get it. Well, gentlemen, it's a pleasure having you both on here. We're so thrilled for you, and we, like I said, we'll put Mangu Aqui, the first one, a link to the Amazon in the description of this episode. And and there's a website, right? Or
yes, if you go to manguaqui.com, stay up to date, and follow us on Jatubey Films.
Instagram.
That's the best way.
Jatubey Films on Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, you got your marching orders, listeners. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for stopping by today, and we'll catch you at the theater in the Inwood Film Festival.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
So again, thanks to Carlitos and Christoper for joining me on this Artist Spotlight edition of Inwood Art Works On Air. Again, it's where we meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home here in Upper Manhattan. If you have a moment, please show some love right now and rate and review this podcast 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Many thanks to Holy Trinity Church here in Inwood for hosting us, and to heightssites.com for uptown promotional support. You can support On Air and all of our programming by making a tax-free donation to inwoodartworks.nyc/donate or via Venmo at Inwood Art Works. Be sure to follow us on social media, keep up all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Al Fresco, pop-up art galleries, live performances, and so much more. Inwood Art Works On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. And Inwood Art Works programming is made possible with the New York State Council on the Arts, with support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Aaron Sims for Inwood Art Works On Air.